Good morning and welcome to another video here on this Esoteric Circle YouTube channel. I am Pete Haskins along with Wanda. We're down here at our favorite spot on the Menominee River. It's a nice, cool fall morning here in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. And wherever you are at on your journey, welcome. Good return to one of the favorites, In Search of the Miraculous. This is very beginning of chapter 7. Let's see here. There's a question that G is asked. How do you define consciousness? And Spensky says, consciousness is considered to be indefinable. And indeed, how can it be defined if it is an inner quality? With the ordinary means at our disposal, it is impossible to prove the presence of consciousness in another man. We know it only in ourselves. All this is rubbish, said G. The usual scientific sophistry. It is time to get rid of it. Only one thing is true in what you have said, that you can know consciousness only in yourself. Observe that I say you can know, for you can know it only when you have it. And when you have not got it, you can know that you have not got it. Not that at that very moment, but afterwards. I mean that when it comes again, you can see that it has been absent a long time. You can find or remember the moment when it disappeared and when it reappeared. You can also define the moments when you are near to consciousness and further away from consciousness. But by observing in yourself the appearance and the disappearance of consciousness, you will inevitably see one fact which you neither see nor acknowledge now, and that is that moments of consciousness are very short and are separated by long intervals of completely unconscious mechanical working of the machine. You will see that you can think, feel, act, speak, work without being conscious of it. And if you learn to see in yourselves the moments of consciousness and the long periods of mechanicalness, you will as infallibly see in other people when they are conscious of what they are doing and when they are not. Last paragraph. Your principal mistake consists in thinking that you always have consciousness, and in general, either that consciousness is always present or that it is never present. In reality, consciousness is a property which is continually changing. Now it is present and now it is not present, and there are different degrees and different levels of consciousness. Both consciousness and the different degrees of consciousness must be understood in oneself by sensation, by taste. No definitions can help you in this case, and no definitions are possible so long as you do not understand what you have to define. And science and philosophy cannot define consciousness because they want to define it where it does not exist. It is necessary, he finishes, to distinguish consciousness from the possibility of consciousness. We have only the possibility of consciousness and rare flashes of it. Therefore, we cannot define what consciousness is. This is a fabulous passage here about the nature of consciousness. And we make the mistake of thinking that we have it. Just like in Christianity, we think that we automatically are saved, right? Salvation is just here. And it is a mistake to think that we are saved automatically since we maybe went up to the altar or we had an experience one time when we were in youth group or whatever it may be. This has to be constantly worked at. This is one of the things that we have to do, and we have to do it now. We have to do it while we have time. We have many things going against us, and we have to work while it is daylight. And you have to work while it is daylight. Whether or not you have meditation, prayer going on, you have to work at this, because we never know when our time is up, right? Just like here, we sat down and it was not raining and now it's raining. You don't know when our time is up. We do not know when our time is up, and we have to work while it is daylight. as it continues to rain here, harder and harder, we'll try and make this brief, but I really can't. But I'm going to try. You have to be working at this consciousness all the time. There are many, many forces that are up against us as we move forward into this. And one of the keys to this is realizing that the closer you get to really having a drive in order to meditate, to read, to really push at this effort to find consciousness, the closer you get to that, and the more your energy builds up and you move forward on a project, whether it's writing, like for me, or music, or whatever, you're going to have things that come against you and resist you. And we have enough going against us as it is. It is my inclination that the food that we eat, the preservatives, the additives, the genetically modified foods, are changing us. And the different ways that we are bombarded by our technology, whether it's through sound waves that we don't know when we're at a political rally or a mega church, or whether it is through the algorithms through YouTube, or especially TikTok, where we are mesmerized and hypnotized by the technology. And that changes our thinking patterns. And it changes our level of consciousness. So the food that we eat, the water that we drink, the images that we see, the things we listen to, and we might not even know it, but we're being changed. We're being altered on a physiological way, not to mention a psychological and spiritual way. But we're being changed and we're being transformed without knowing it. So we're really up against it. And Gurdjieff and Ouspensky had no idea what was ahead. Maybe they did. But either way, we're up against it. And if you're really feeling like you are called to this esoteric circle, this perfect circle, you have to work while it is daylight. And you have to purify your nous, your N-O-U-S, your psyche. And you have to be able to think for yourself. And you have to have this fort built within you, what Gurdjieff calls the magnetic center. And you have to have your defenses built up. And you have to purify yourself as much as possible. So the things that you are letting into your mind and into your body are crucial. And you have to be very, very concerned about what you let in. So today's exercise is trying to figure out what you're letting in. You could be going to a megachurch or a political rally, a Trump rally, or whatever. Or you could be on TikTok and you could be getting images. And your brain pattern, the way you think is altered, and you don't even know it. The things you could be eating could be changing the way you think, and can be altering you, transforming you. Now, we are called to be transformed in the likeness of Christ. We are transformed by the mind of Christ, as Paul says, not by technology. So this transhumanism, this idea that there's going to be a hybridization of humanity is very, very threatening. Consciousness. Blessings to you.